Happy Friday. Brian Manning here with the weekly update. Let's see. So Monday this week we got new home sales. New home sales for the month of June were down 6.6%. You watch the news and they're just like, oh my gosh, the world is ending. 6.6 decline, but most builders saying the primary reason they're seeing a decline is because they can't keep up with demand. In fact, D.R. Horton came out and said they're going to be cutting back on sales because they can't keep up with the demand. So not a horrible thing to see for the decline in new home sales, but there you go. Tuesdays, we got Case-Shiller. So Case-Shiller measures appreciation on a national level on a month-over-month basis for the month of May. Houses appreciated at 2.1%, but what's really crazy is on a year-over-year basis, houses appreciated at 16.6%. I still think it's a little hot. I wouldn't mind seeing it cool down a little bit, but 16.6% appreciation is unbelievable. Wednesday of this week, and every Wednesday we get the Mortgage Bankers Association giving us feedback on new applications, and this is new purchase applications. So yes, new purchase applications were down on a week-over-week or a month-over-month basis, but something that people don't pay attention to or mention is all cash sales. So if you have new purchase applications down a little bit, all cash sales are actually up 7% right now. So I wouldn't say it's horrible seeing a slight decline in mortgage applications when you have such an increase from 16% to 23% of all transactions being all cash. There's just a lot of talk about bubble questions right now. And I don't know if anybody ever watched the movie The Big Short, but you remember the scene in there when the stripper is talking and the stripper is like, I have 5 houses. I bought them all working here. Right. 2008 is totally different than what we have right now. We had someone in The Big Short that bought 5 houses, got 100% financing paid, no money down, verified, no income, did stated income loans. Everything we've been doing ever since that housing crash has been totally different. So I would not say I feel like we're in bubble range, but certainly there's definitely a lot of talk about it. Thursday, we had a recap from the Federal Reserve. Federal Reserve just finishing up a 2-day meeting and giving us feedback on what their plans are. They're still a little ambiguous with what they want to do. Right now, they're still purchasing mortgage-backed securities and treasuries. They're purchasing just an exceptional amount of these, and they're reinvesting every single month as well. They said they don't plan to taper probably till next year, and they also said that when they do taper, that they won't taper disproportionately, meaning they won't taper, mortgage-backed securities before U.S. Treasuries. I'm not sure I fully believe them. I'm actually not really sure they know exactly what's going on. We'll have to wait and see, but there you go. We also got second quarter GDP readings. So analyst expectations for the second quarter GDP was that it would be up 9.2%. GDP ended up being up 6.5%. Alone 6.5% is usually a good number, but certainly an analyst miss. And, we had talked about this several months ago. We had said, hey, keep an eye on GDP. As stimulus checks are going out there and people are spending stimulus checks, it's going to have a boost on the economy. It's going to increase GDP. But when the stimulus money goes away and people stop spending it, you are going to see a slight impact on GDP. So, it kind of looks like this is what we saw here. We were trying to keep up with GDP before. Analyst expectations were for a higher GDP, came back lower than expected. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's because you're seeing the stimulus money kind of working its way, being spent through the economy. Today, we got the PCE. That's the personal consumption expenditure. This is the Federal Reserve's favorite gauge for measuring inflation on a month-over-month basis. We really look at just the core rate because the core rate strips out volatile items such as food and energy. On a month-over-month basis for the month of June, personal PCE was up 0.4%. On a year-over-year basis, we went from 3.4% to 3.5%. So if you remember, it was like last week we got the CPI report. These were both gauges of inflation, and people that pay attention to this will say, well, hey, why is the PCE a lower number in inflation compared to the CPI? The primary reason is going to be housing. So in the PCE, what we got today, only 12% of this component is based on housing, right? If rents are going up and costs of housing are going up, 12% of the component in the PCE is based on housing. Whereas the CPI, the Consumer Price Index that we watch as well to gauge inflation, 24% is a component of housing in the CPI. So you definitely have a lot more housing in the CPI report. And we just think probably CPI is more accurate because housing is something that we're all dealing with. It's something we all pay for. So as you have housing costs going up, factoring that in and having a little heavier weighted in the CPI report, we think is a little bit more accurate. I'm around all weekend. If you have any questions, let me know. I'd love to help you. Mortgage rates are phenomenal still. We're helping people buy houses at amazing rates, refinance, take cash out, remove PMI, so many different reasons. There's still values in refinancing. you have any questions, give us a call, text us. Happy Friday. Have a great day.